and Dean the Great have been streaming together, not twitching, streaming, because it's on Kick.
So they've been kicking. They've been kicking it. They've been kicking.
Maybe I'll catch on one day. I'm not there yet. But there's a lot of varying opinions regarding the content.
You ever see somebody like,
together?
Yo, that dress ain't dressing?
I do say that. You're right. No, you're right.
I made that slogan up. I started that. I did.
Ain't dressing.
I did that whole shit. I get the computers shooting, boosters boosting, all that. That's me. Now niggas talk about the dresses they dressing. You like 20 years late. So it may take you some time to get the kicking.
Laughing.
Laughing. Yo, this money ain't, oh, that's me. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm a tracer. I'm sorry, Stab, but you go, I'll send you a song when it started, 2004.
I heard it.
Yeah, there you go. I did. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, man.
Sometimes, you know.
Yeah, thank you, man.
But I might start using twitching. I don't know. We'll see.
Yo, be the first nigga. Just see to do it, yo. I mean, y'all twitching tonight? Or let's twitch it out. They kicking? Yeah, let's kick it.
It only works because you're cool. Because if you weren't, I'd be like, I don't want to use twitching.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, right, I may not be cool to the nerds.
You are.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, some people be like, yo, you're not cool.
No, but exactly that. Like, it's a thing. There's some people that say stuff that's cool, and there's some people that say stuff that don't.
Yeah, well,
like,
maybe
like
one
my
day.
dad, like, he says young cats. I hate that, but like, that's how he taught. Like, what is a young cat? But if somebody else said it, not that my dad's not cool. Yeah. Again, that's my dog. I'm like, no, I'm not using it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. These young cats are a little older than me.
That. I hate
That's right
that.
Is that because he's telling you the cat's age?
No, he just be like, I don't know these young cats. I don't know these cats. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Because they're cats. What do you want me to say? They're younger than me. I'm like, all right.
That's all right.
He's
no,
right.
it's not.
He's right.
Shout out Papa Dad.
I think I missed the cats. I'm right after the cats. I know these young cats.
Jive
turkeys.
Yeah.
See, that one, I don't know about that one. But yes, back to Dean the Great and AB. Adrien Broner has now become verified on Kick, which actually allows him to earn money on his own platform. Maurice, how do you feel about this collaboration?
Yeah, you know, obviously I got mixed feelings. I'm still a homer. Some will say Ohio. But, you know, obviously, if you've seen some of the clips online, you see my man AB, you know, he's doing things that if you understand addiction and you understand somebody who's chasing a bottle, like, you just don't agree with. You know, don't nobody want to see they 3-time champion or just a human being, you know, just consistently exploited on some level, drinking like that. So that's the homer in me. I want to see our Ohio champion be, you know, in a better place and space. But then also, I don't judge it because I struggle with drinking. I know how hard it is to stop drinking and quitting it and so on and so forth. And then you mix in that he's probably in survival mode, you know, a survival being that, you know, you probably need the money. And so more than anything, man, I tell you like this, when you go through this shit, like sometimes you need a break. And AB at some point, like, I don't know if you get people around him who can help to influence him, but sometimes you just need a break from society, a break from your responsibilities. And I just think that his life is so fast and he has so much responsibility that he can't take a break. And so then you put yourself in situations like this. But at the end of the day, man, I won't bend on this part. Like sometimes, liquor, I just had to find out that liquor, what's up?
That was crazy.
Bend over this part?
Bend over on this part was crazy.
Yeah, so nah.
It's been a week.
Well, I'll end it like this. I'll end it like this. Yes, so I'll pause that, right? So I'll end it like this. I just hope my man gets sober. That's it. If you don't hear nothing else from somebody who dealt with it before, from somebody that took a long time to get sober, I hope my man gets sober, he wake back up, and he revive his life, because I don't like to seem like that. I've been there before, just struggling. So, you know, we want my man to get back on his feet. That's it.
Yeah, Zeke been through that shit too. Zeke took him on alcohol, like he's been clean probably 4 years, but he's a bad drunk, yo, bad. Like he goes on binges for months. It's really bad. I'm surprised I'm still speaking. There was a time where I was like, I'm not gonna speak to you no more. I tried and threaten him. And he's like, yeah, right.
Like, dog.
Yeah, and so that shit, like you said, that shit is really serious. But I didn't know if he's drinking or not because I just see the clips and I don't really watch the whole kick or the whole stream. And the clips I seen, I was like, hey man, at least he's figuring a way out to get some money. You know, I shout out to the kid, Dean the Great.
Yeah.
Shout out to him because it seemed like he figured out streaming. Like he takes chances. I see him get punched by wrestlers and slapped and the boxing matches and shit. I'm not saying no speed or nothing, but he takes a lot of physical chances out there in the streets. But for him to figure out, maybe AB could be a good co-host of what I'm doing. I don't know how good he was doing by himself, but it seems like every comment I read on that, they're like, oh, these two need a show. These two are funny. This is the combo I didn't think I needed. I didn't know I needed. So if it's a way for him to make some money, cool. I didn't know the alcohol part. I just, like I said, I only see the clips on social media. I haven't watched the whole stream. So if he could figure it out without doing alcohol and still be as funny as it is, I'd support it. He was actually in the gym, one of the clips I seen, teaching niggas how to box still. You know what I'm saying? He was showing the clip and how to slip the jab and moving around. And I'm like, look, if he's not gonna box, let's try to figure this out on how he can make some money. Because Dean also helped that dude Rampage, right? If I'm not mistaken, the Rampage Jackson, right? So it seems like that kid Dean has figured it out. And not only that, figured out other athletes that may have not have figured out what to do after their career, how to make some money. So I give the kid Dean a lot of credit. If AB can still do it without getting drunk, fine, because as much as you're right, Mo, I do agree with you. I want to see AB get another fight, but it doesn't look like he's going to get in fight shape, and it's going to take a lot to even get a fight that he may feel be up to his standard, because you're not just going to get back in there with a top contender. Even though he's really good, I think when AB's in shape, he's good, and not only that, he knows how to sell a fight. But at this point right now, I don't even know what weight he would fight in. Could he still make 147 or 140? He was really good at 140. Is he good enough to go up to 154? I don't know. It's too many questions boxing-wise. When he say, fuck it, I can make some money doing this. I'm not disagreeing with you, Ma. I would love to see him back in the ring. But if he's not going to be back in the ring, I at least like to see him be funny and make some money instead of just being drunk without making money. So leave the alcohol alone. Try and be funny. And salute to the guy, Dean, man, for helping him get his shit together. And not only him, other athletes that he's helping out as well.
Yeah, I'm all for people turning their life around. Obviously, I'm not obviously, but the only time I've met AB was literally the show. So it seems like things are changing in a positive direction for him. And then on the flip side, I give a lot of credit to Dean because a lot of people probably don't know Dean's from Tampa. So like me and Dean like go way back. I've known him before I did It Is What It Is, before he started doing the streaming and the boxing stuff. And it's so crazy because seeing people kind of come into their own and like become who they are, and him just being on his grind has been dope, because this is the stuff that we talked about. Like we met at the gym. This is the stuff we talked about. We're like, I want to go do this and you're going to go do that. And it happened. We both were able to kind of follow our dreams, move across to the West Coast and be like doing our stuff. So shout out to him. And like, he does work really hard and he actually does have a good heart, regardless of what people want to try to say or clicks or whatever. Like it's content and people are watching it. So shout out to him for being able to make really a living out of it and keep killing it. So that's what I'll say to Dean, because yeah. Maurice, did you have one more comment before we wrap?
Yeah, no, it was just adding on to Cam's point. I think like I said a whole lot, but he just said it like in a concise way. AB got a personality, and so he's funny without all of the other stuff. And so in order to sustain that, you just have to be sober doing it. So that might be the cleanest way of saying what I was trying to say.
Cool. About a lot of things, but a lot of good things. In the comments down below, let us know what y'all think about all the people who have been turning their life around and the games that we spoke about earlier. But that is all the time that we have for today. Maurice, you know it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good seeing you, Mo. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Likewise.
Yo, before we go, can we celebrate a little bit? Can we we pop some champagne for, you've been doing your thing, man. You've been doing your thing. I know you ain't gonna drink it, but I'm just saying you've been doing your thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Listen, we gotta celebrate, man. You've been doing your thing. You on First
Thank you,
Take,
Larry.
and then you've been on what was the other one? LeBron.
Rich
Come
Paul.
on, man. You killing the game.
Thank you, man.
and then Stat said something.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah,
though, man.
I know that. But Stat said something earlier. She said we all winning over here, and I thank you because we all winning, and we all salute you, and we all. Man, listen, we were rooting this morning. I was rooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in my living room like, yeah.
No, yes. It was like the Super Bowl.
So I just wanted to say thank you, man. Yeah,
Thanks,
we
bro. You know you my bro.
Yeah,
man.
nah. But we really, I think I speak for everybody, Nick, Taylor, everybody in there, man. Like, bro, you make it happen for a lot of people,
Yes.
man. It ain't just you. You really like I was thinking this morning, like, damn, this nigga's climbing, but he leaving rope for us to find it to climb up with us. You know what I'm saying? To climb up with him. So I appreciate you.
Nobody's good without a good team, bro.
Yeah,
That's what it's
nah,
about.
but
make sure everybody
nah,
gets.
because there's a lot of niggas that don't want to help other people, Killer.
That's true, yeah.
And you definitely make sure that everybody around you is eating. If they fuck it up, they fuck it up. It's on them. So
Nah, thank you,
we
bro. I
all
appreciate
appreciate you over here. So we
Thank
was
you so
going
much, man. I
champagne to
appreciate
pop some. I know not now, but we got you.
Nah, we're saving for a good time, man. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Cheers to
Yep,
you.
thank you, guys.
Let me say this. I'm gonna add on to this because I know I will forget another time. So it is a great feeling. I say this, and it's to add on to Larry, just to publicly say it. When people see me, all they do is smile and laugh, and they say, "Cam, Mace." That's all they'll say, and they smile. And just to have that interaction with people is built from something that y'all have brought to the platform. So I'm echoing what Larry's saying. What I appreciate it publicly. A lot of people talk shit, but I appreciate it. Ain't got no problem saluting you publicly, saying thank you, and I really mean it.
Nah, thank you, guys. Like I said, I appreciate all of y'all. Like, it ain't just, I don't feel it's me. I feel it's us. So all of us are doing what we got to do to stay ahead and win and so on and so forth. But thank everybody, Larry, PT, Stat, Nick, Jory, Isaiah, Taylor, everybody who's a part of the show. Mace, of course, Trista, Rabia, Mike Irvin, RPOJ. So thank you guys, man. I really appreciate it.
Super, super dope. And I took notes. I will never buy Andre champagne again because y'all was looking at me. I was like, noted. So we learned new things. Okay, thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is. Welcome back. So Michael Beasley and Delonte West teamed up for a new podcast called Shut Up and Dribble. So they're promising to speak on everything from the league to real life. As we know, Delonte West had struggled with some homelessness, addiction, mental health issues. So since we're on the topic of turning your life around and then seeing people enter new spaces, Maurice, what's your opinion on this duo?
Yeah, I thought two things of it. The first one I thought it's going to be funny, but in a good way. Not like funny, like laugh at him. I think Michael Beasley is entertaining when he tells stories. I think that he's so politically incorrect and raw with telling stuff. It's like when you're in the hood, listen to somebody tell stories, they'll tell you some crazy shit, and it's funny in like a hood way. And I think that's what I see when Michael Beasley talking to people and answering questions and talking about his personal life. But on another note, I also think that he's so raw with how he operates. I think even with Delonte West, he may open up to somebody like Michael Beasley versus, various people who try to come in his life and talk to him. And it may be therapeutic for Delonte West. Everybody's seen over the last, I guess 10 years now, or however long he's been on the streets, people, showing social media videos of him. And everybody kind of seen me struggle with drugs, but for him to have 100 days sober, that's good. But then even for him to sit down with somebody who he may think is his peer that played basketball, but also somebody who had personal issues and, kind of navigated them and he just in a better space, I think that may be helpful. Just talking about your life and talking about what's going on is helpful in 1,000 different ways. I'll say that, like I remember Cam was talking about Mace when he said Mace does music, but he might do it from a therapeutic standpoint. That may be true. And so I think other people need spaces to, just share their thoughts, share their feelings, and this may be a platform for them to do so.
Yeah, listen, man. I've seen Michael Beasley very raw and uncut, like Mo just said. I actually just seen an interview with Shannon Sharp where he actually broke down and started crying as well and was talking about the death of his family. And that shit was really an emotional interview, man. And I'm like, Yo, that's fucked up, man. He was explaining how to have the wrong shorts on that one game. They showed the clip, and I'm like, I remember that game. People thought he was bugging. But he was actually going through something. And I was watching, I was like, I fuck with Michael Beasley. I always did, but I was like, you know, it's tough to sit there and let yourself go, pause, so to speak, in front of a stranger. You know, I'm not saying he don't know Shannon Sharpe, but obviously when you do stuff like that to me, you can't talk to people you know about it. And that shit is sitting inside you for so long that one day it's going to explode because you want to just get it out on how you pause or how you really feel about what's going on. And definitely your family, his mom, his cousin, whoever it was, I thought it's cool. And then on the other side of that, I think he's super entertaining. When he was playing basketball in the 3-on-3, he was telling niggas, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you tonight. And I'm like, yo, what kind of, I don't know if I want to play basketball with a nigga like that. He said, get up here so I can dig all in your ass. I'm like, what? That's a hell of a mind fuck game to be playing with a nigga before the basketball game start, my nigga. You kind of wild. I don't know if I'm gonna play that game. So I do think that he's gonna be uncut and honest. So that's Michael Beasley. And then we do see how Delonte West has been struggling. I don't know if it's drugs or liquor or mental health illness or whatever it is, but we see him struggling. And then I seen a post saying he's 100 days sober, which is a big deal. So that's great for him. And I don't know if I want to necessarily hear everything Delonte West been through. I think people would like to hear it, but until they hear certain things, it'll be definitely interesting. The reason I say this, right, I had a homegirl, and you wouldn't even know it. She used to smoke crack and take meth. She's white. And so,
I was just like, I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm sorry. This is a little silly day for me.
What?
That was just like not a normal sentence. It was a lot. Sorry.
Go ahead, man. Come on.
This is a new life for me,
You know why?
guys.
You know why? Because the reason I lamented she was white, because when you think of crackheads, you think of urban black Spanish. Like, yo, look at them fucking niggery crackheads. You think they don't say niggery, but you think crackheads is mostly black. It's white crackheads too. So, if she was a functional crackhead, you wouldn't even know she smoked crack. She smoked crack by accident. And then that's how crack is. You can't even smoke it by accident, you know? And got hooked. But she got off of it. She was clean. And we was all chilling one day, like not no crack house or nothing, in a good environment. Just you have dead eyes. We was in it was a restaurant. And I wish I could tell the whole story like people's name, because my homegirl was cool. Make a long story short, let me just fast forward to what I have to say. She was like, yo, I gotta get ready, get out of here. I gotta go to a meeting. I'm like, what kind of meeting you going to? She like, that's where I found out all the crack and everything. And she was like, well, one of these meetings. And so it's like a Alcohol Anonymous for drug addicts. And she's like, I gotta go. I was like, can I go? She's like, you serious? I said, yeah, I want to sit in that shit. She said, yo, Cam, it's dark. That's how white people talk. Yo, it's really dark in there. I'm telling you that now. And I'm like, all right. She's like, it's on you. That shit was darker than I thought. Yo, Phil, you go in there, the shit these people do that's on drugs, yo, my nigga, it ain't even just in the movies, it's worse, my nigga. Yo, they eating ass paws, they selling, yo, fam, this shit, I left the meeting. I left out about 15 minutes into it. I said, yo, I gotta get out. She said, yeah, I told you I gotta stay. So I don't do it. Like, she really got to stay. But I don't know how far, the reason I'm mentioning all that, I don't know how far Delonte West story's gonna go. Is this just dark? Because I'm telling you now, that 15 minutes in that one meeting that I went to, that was Dark Vader dark. That shit was dark, my nigga. So I don't know if I want to hear everything Delonte West has to say. They keep it basketball and a little bit of drugs. I'll tune in. I don't want to go too deep. Pause.
That's what it'll take. Okay, one more, turning your life around.
What you just watched went way beyond basketball, boxing, or another streaming show. At its core, this was about something much tougher to unpack when the cameras are rolling. It was about what happens when a man has to fight his way back from a hole he created publicly, with the whole world watching every move. Start with Michael Beasley and Dante West. On the surface, Shut Up and Dribble could easily look like another podcast featuring former athletes, another familiar name sitting behind another microphone. But pay attention to the way Emo and Cam described it. They weren't presenting this like ordinary content. They were describing something closer to therapy, happening while the cameras happened to be on. And honestly, that difference carries more weight than you might think. Mo's perspective on Beasley was probably the most revealing part. He didn't describe him as funny in the polished, network-approved way executives usually want their personalities to be. Instead, he described him as raw. And that only really makes sense if you've spent time around people who speak from experience without filtering every sentence. It's the kind of storytelling that comes from actually surviving situations instead of reading about them later. That's not something a producer can simply teach you. Either life gave you that perspective or it didn't. And Beasley's life clearly did, both in positive and painful ways. But here's where the conversation really starts to hit differently. Emo didn't just say Beasley was entertaining, he went a step deeper and suggested Dante West could possibly open up around Beasley because Beasley isn't approaching him like a therapist, counselor, or professional sitting there with prepared questions. He's a peer, someone who has personally experienced being at the bottom. There's actually a psychological reason that can matter. People who have been beaten down by life can sometimes feel safer with others who have experienced similar pain than with professionals, because a professional can understand the problem, while a peer has actually lived through it. That's the real experiment behind putting these two together. The priority isn't entertainment, it's a connection. Then Cam brought up the Shannon Sharpe interview, and suddenly the conversation stopped being about announcing a podcast and became something much deeper, the burden that comes with always being the funny guy. Beasley breaking down in tears while discussing family loss in front of Shannon Sharpe, someone he respects but isn't personally close to, was a powerful moment. Cam didn't react to it like simple sadness. His response sounded more like recognition. He basically said it himself. Sometimes the people closest to you are the exact people you struggle to tell your deepest pain to, so you bury it until eventually it has nowhere left to go. That's not some random observation. That's a reality many men, especially in sports and entertainment, understand far too well, when the world expects them to perform no matter what they're carrying privately. Beasley's reputation for being chaotic during his playing days, including the wrong shorts incident Cam mentioned, may not have simply been random irresponsibility. Based on Cam's explanation, it could have been someone dealing with serious personal issues while the cameras continued recording, and very few people stopped to ask what was really happening. That completely changes how you can look at Beasley's story. What appeared to outsiders as strange or unpredictable behavior may have actually been a person struggling badly without having a healthy place to release it, long before anyone publicly wondered whether he was okay. Now that his playing career is finished, he has a podcast and a platform where he can finally speak in ways he couldn't while competing. There's something almost heartbreaking about that timing, because sometimes the space to heal doesn't appear until the performance has already ended. Then you have Dante West, and this is where Emo and Cam became noticeably more cautious with their words. Reaching 100 days sober is legitimately meaningful. Anyone familiar with addiction understands that a number like that represents much more than a headline. It's a daily fight where every single day counts as another victory. At the same time, both hosts openly admitted they weren't necessarily eager to hear every detail of the full journey. Cam's story about sitting inside a recovery meeting wasn't some pointless side story. He was explaining, through his own experience, why certain stories can become much heavier once you actually hear what happened behind the scenes. He wasn't trying to make recovery sound glamorous. If anything, he was warning people that the real version is usually much darker than the clean comeback story audiences prefer. And that's an uncomfortable point worth thinking about, because it reveals how we consume redemption stories. We love the comeback. We love seeing the headline that says someone has reached 100 days sober. What we don't always want is everything that happened before that headline became possible. That's the difficult territory Cam was talking about, the messy part that isn't inspirational, polished, or easy to watch. Cam essentially admitted he'd rather hear the version involving sports and a little bit of drugs than sit through the completely unfiltered reality. And honestly, that's probably how a lot of people would react. But here's the important part. Genuine recovery almost never arrives packaged in the clean format an audience wants. Think about why Cam reached for that personal recovery story at all. Nobody directly demanded that he share it, yet simply discussing Dante West's sobriety seemed to trigger something personal, almost automatically, the way certain subjects can unlock memories you didn't realize were still sitting there. The hosts weren't delivering some rehearsed performance of compassion. They were responding naturally to situations they had either experienced themselves or witnessed up close. That's what separates simple commentary from testimony. And throughout this segment, the two kept blending together without anyone needing to point it out. It's also important to pay attention to what the hosts chose not to do. Nobody turned Dante West into a joke or treated his struggles on the streets like easy comedy, even though that would have been the simplest and cheapest direction to take this discussion. Considering how often the internet has turned his situation into public entertainment, that restraint actually stands out. Instead of rushing toward judgment, the hosts leaned into curiosity and cautious optimism, which is far from the automatic response this kind of story usually receives online. Now, shift over to Adrien Broner and Dean the Great, because this is where the discussion became even more emotionally complicated, and Mo didn't try to hide that at all. Mo's introduction almost sounded contradictory by design. He's a homer who wants to see his guy get into a better place, but he also refuses to judge him because Mo has battled his own issues with drinking. That combination is exactly what made his opinion feel more genuine than another loud internet reaction. He wasn't sitting comfortably on the outside criticizing someone else's problem. He was looking at another person's addiction through the perspective of someone who understands parts of that struggle personally. And that creates a completely different viewpoint. What Mo said about Broner deserves a closer look. He suggested Broner could possibly be operating in survival mode, with financial pressure and nonstop public attention potentially contributing to the drinking, rather than the entire situation simply coming down to weakness or poor decisions. Mo's point was that sometimes people desperately need a break from society and from the responsibilities constantly surrounding them. And when there is no healthy way to get that escape, people can search for another one. That doesn't make the behavior acceptable, and Mo wasn't presenting it as an excuse, but it does offer a more complicated and human way of understanding the situation than simply labeling it another celebrity downfall. Then Mo did something that a lot of people discussing these issues refuse to do. He stopped breaking everything down and simply said, "I hope my man gets sober." No conditions, no boxing-related analysis, and no attempt to turn it into a career discussion. Just a genuine expression of concern from someone who has personally traveled part of that same road. That statement hit on a completely different level than everything else discussed, and you could feel the atmosphere change the second he said it. Cam bringing up Zeke and those months-long binge patterns added another important piece, because it made clear this wasn't some one-time situation. It's a cycle that seems to repeat among people within the same circles. Addiction wasn't being presented as one person's personal weakness. Instead, the conversation focused on how you can stand beside somebody without either walking away from them or accidentally helping the problem continue. That battle between supporting someone and enabling them became the emotional core of the entire second half of the discussion. Cam and Mo kept returning to one question they couldn't completely settle. Is Broner joking and streaming with Dean actually a healthy sign that he's discovering purpose and another source of income outside boxing? Or could that same platform end up turning his darkest moments into entertainment for everybody watching? Neither host gave a definitive answer, and honestly, that's probably because there isn't one simple answer. Cam eventually offered a more practical way to look at it. If Broner can stay entertaining, earn money, and keep alcohol away from the actual show, then that's a positive outcome. But if drinking becomes part of what makes the content entertaining, then the entire situation becomes much more concerning. There's another side of this story that's easy to overlook when you're focused only on the emotional moments. Broner getting verified on Kick and gaining the ability to monetize his audience directly represents a major opportunity for a fighter in his situation. Boxing money can disappear quickly once a fighter stops being a dependable attraction. And historically, the options available to aging or struggling fighters often included exactly the kind of situations MO was concerned about: exploitative appearances, quick payday events, and spectacle fights against opponents who weren't truly dangerous. Streaming completely changes those economics. It gives Broner an opportunity to generate income consistently while maintaining more control over his own career, instead of waiting for a promoter to approve the next opportunity. That's exactly why Cam and MO can't simply write off the entire arrangement, even though some of the footage clearly makes them uncomfortable. The alternative to streaming alongside Dean isn't automatically a healthier life for Broner. For plenty of athletes whose careers are fading or already finished, the other option is simply losing income, losing structure, and losing purpose, and that can make an already difficult situation even worse. That's the uncomfortable reality sitting underneath this entire conversation. These platforms definitely aren't perfect answers, but they may still be better than the empty space that used to be waiting for athletes after the spotlight moved somewhere else. The old system basically left athletes with standing at the edge. This newer model may look chaotic from the outside, but at least it gives them something to hold on to. One of the most impressive parts of this discussion, though, was the genuine respect both hosts showed toward Dean the Great, especially because their praise was clearly personal. This wasn't just two hosts giving a fellow creator some routine professional compliments. Cam has a genuine history with Dean. They grew up around the same time, chased similar dreams, and eventually both headed west looking for bigger opportunities. So when Cam talked about Dean helping athletes rediscover purpose after their competitive careers end, whether that's Rampage Jackson, Broner, or whoever comes next, he wasn't simply giving Dean credit for making content. He was recognizing someone who created a bridge for these former athletes who suddenly became invisible once their sport no longer needed them. That's an extremely important role for these platforms, even if the internet spends far more time discussing the drama surrounding them. Athletes spend years being trained and valued for one specific ability, then suddenly that ability stops generating money, and there aren't many systems designed to catch them during that transition. Dean creating something that can give these former athletes money, exposure, and a reason to keep moving forward deserves far more respect than it usually receives. Step back from the individual stories and the bigger connection between every topic in this segment becomes obvious. Rebuilding your life isn't one dramatic decision, it's a continuous process, and most of the time it looks nothing like the polished comeback story people post online. Beasley found his voice after his playing career was already finished, rather than during the years when having that outlet might have made the biggest difference. Adrien West is 100 days into a difficult journey, and Cam was honest enough to admit that he's nervous about hearing everything that happened along the way. Broner is currently somewhere in that same uncertain process, working through it publicly with an audience watching, and nobody knows exactly where the road will lead. And Dean is showing that this business can potentially become something more than a machine for turning people's lowest moments into content. With the right intentions, it can become an actual lifeline. Then came the ending, the toast, the appreciation, and Cam going down the list and recognizing people individually. And that wasn't just something thrown in to fill the final minutes. After spending roughly 40 minutes discussing other people's attempts to keep themselves afloat, the hosts finally turned the attention toward their own journey and admitted that everything they created was built with help from other people too. Larry's point about climbing upward while leaving a rope behind so others can climb alongside you wasn't merely a feel-good quote added at the end of the show. It was basically the message of the entire conversation, finally spoken out loud at the exact moment nobody expected it. And that became the perfect closing thought for everything they had discussed. Nobody truly reaches recovery, success, or reinvention completely by themselves, because somewhere along the way, someone has to stand beside them while they find their footing. Beasley needed Shannon Sharpe's platform before he could finally say what he'd been holding inside. Dante West needs someone who understands his world, not simply a stranger watching from the outside, to help him trust the process. Broner is currently somewhere in that same uncertain process, working through it publicly with an audience watching, and nobody knows exactly where the road will lead. And Dean is showing that this business can potentially become something more than a machine for turning people's lowest moments into content. With the right intentions, it can become an actual lifeline.